On today's show, we see an amazing gift revealed in a dream. We see how repeated toxic relationships are the result of dad's abandonment. And we see how feeling alone in life is the result of mom not loving unconditionally. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. We're so excited you're here for another week to hear some fabulous dreams.
Sandy, do we want to just dive into it or do you want to compliment my hair?
Your hair looks fabulous. We can dive in.
Okay.
But before we dive in, and we do need to mention that we do have our summit coming up soon.
Oh, very good point. So dream-analysis.com/free summit will get you there. All one word, free summit. That will take you to the registration page. We do ask for a fully refundable $97 deposit that you get back immediately after the event. And you can enjoy it knowing that you're with like-minded people. Sandy, back to you.
All righty. Yes, we're just going to dive right on in. The first one sounds like a very interesting dream. It is titled, Man's Eye Shows He's Sick, and it's from Sherry. I look out my window. It's dark out. I see what looks like snow, but moving more like water coming towards me. Whoa! This house is going to be hit by the snow. I look over at a man I'm with. He seems sick. I need to get us out of here. He goes unconscious. I wonder if I should slap him awake. I'm a little bit panicked, figuring out what to do. He opens his eyes slightly. I tell him that we need to get him medicine. He stands up. I see his right eye roll, spins, and then appears black with an edged geometric design on it. Woo, baby. I know what his eye means. It's telling me he's sick and needs medicine. It's not that he'll die, but it's not good. I open my door and see a vibrant, glowy man striding towards me with a big smile. He tosses me medication for the guy to take. The sick guy asked him to take his pulse on his neck, so the vibrant guy humors him and does. But it seems like the vibrant guy doesn't need to do that, like he already knows what's wrong and the medicine will make him better. I say, I saw his eye. He is definitely sick and needs this medication. All righty, Michael, that's a strange dream.
I love how he goes unconscious. She worries about maybe having to slap him awake and all that. And then she looks at his eye and she goes, oh, he's definitely sick. I think the other parts would have given it away. But there's a significance. Yes. So I included this dream because it shows work I do that we don't often cover on the show. And that is the very specific gifts that are revealed to people in dreams when they're doing deep dream work with lots and lots of dreams working with me. The summary really is that she can now help people with health issues. And I love at the end, like even where the guy who represents an aspect of her, that she's able to give people medicine remotely and all that stuff. That's her amazing ability. But he doesn't even need to take a pulse. He knows what's wrong and he knows what to do. So that's pretty good. The snow coming towards her says that dairy suppresses her immune system and impacts her vitality. We know that because the guy goes unconscious, like that's right afterwards. But interesting to show how the dairy is there. We know it with the snow, but channeling on it saying that it actually impacts your immune system and then your support systems go down. So not good. Then they want her to see something unique about her masculine aspect. And I had to do a lot of channeling about the eyes because she's talking about eyes so much. When I channeled, said that the eye has its own programming separate from the brain and it's programmed to see what it sees, that its awareness is huge, but we program it to say, look for this and look for that and it ignores lots of other things and just passes on whatever we tell it to look for. So I found that very, very interesting because I'm always thinking like, I can see the spirit world, I can see spirits around people and things like that. And to me, it looks like I can see it with my eyes. Like if I close my eyes, I don't see it. Like they have to be open. But I know that's because of near-death experiences that I had, but still very interesting. But I channeled on the third eye because they said this is where the importance is. And they said the third eye sees the non-physical and tells our other eyes what to look past, and that the third eye has memory. They said that their regular eyes don't. They just have a great awareness. but the third eye has memory. So it's really significant. And she's meant to be using her third eye. They said it's good for seeing problems. It's almost like it gets stressed when things are not in harmony. So if she can use that when looking at a person to tune into herself and go, okay, I see what the disharmony is in this particular person. So use her third eye to see what's out of harmony in a person's body and then use her gift to heal it. And they said it's definitely physical healing. So it'll be interesting for her going forward to try using this, because there's always times, she's a mom with kids, there's always times when you have things crop up in your life and you're like, okay, this kid needs attention. Now I have to say, I never say to people, avoid getting medical attention, always get medical attention. But we do have other gifts that are terrific complements to that. And I would use everything.
Wow, that is an amazing gift. So what is it about the eye rolling around spinning and then appears black with etched geometric designs?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Anytime geometric designs show up, it often is in dreams for people who have a prophetic ability. Like they know what's coming. They kind of like can look at the matrix rather than look at the people walking around. And so it shows that she has this. By using this special ability of her third eye, she can see what's going on behind reality.
Wow, that's really, really cool. What an amazing gift. All righty. I think I've asked enough questions on that one. Let's go on to the next dream. And this is from Kathy. And it's titled Too Tired for a Lecture on Anti-Semitism. Okay. I had agreed with Jessica to go to a lecture at 10 p.m. But since it's so late, I had already fallen asleep. When I wake up, I can barely open my eyes. Like an almost blind person, I walk to Jessica's small kitchen to get her. She tells me she doesn't feel like going anymore because it's so late. I said, well, you could have told me that earlier. Now I have to go alone. I don't like that. Next, I'm back in my bedroom, extremely tired. I can hardly keep my eyes open. I think to myself, then I'll just won't go either. A lecture on anti-Semitism doesn't sound very nice anyways. Next to my bed on the floor is a book by Frida Vogel. Vogel means bird in Dutch, and the name Frida means peace. On the cover is a Jewish woman on a bike. I think I should give it to Jessica. She'd probably enjoy reading it. Jessica is now walking through the hallway with Erica, a good friend of hers. They pass by my area, and Erica says how nice it is that it's now a real studio. All righty, Michael. I'm interested to see what you get out of this dream.
All right. So we can ignore what the lecture is on. Kathy actually works in a Jewish museum. She's not Jewish, but she works in a museum. And also she has recently converted her daughter's bedroom into an art studio and she started painting again. So that's really good to see that showing up in the dream, even vicariously through friends telling her they're happy to see it. But the first part, where she wants to go to this lecture and she ends up upset because the person she was going to go with isn't going. So she hates going through life alone. That's really what this part is about. It's bringing up that feeling because that's very true for her. And she's working with this at this moment in time, in fact, to go through where all this comes from. It's all from mom and getting help healing with it. So what I put to her and what she agreed with was that mom lets her down even when things were planned. She still wouldn't follow through. Another thing that comes up is that, and it's not directly in the dream, but when you see all these things and you're working on the dream, your guides give you extra information. And they said that she doesn't want to give love when she has never experienced it herself. So can you imagine that? It's like, this is really what it's about. The crux of, I'm going through life alone. I really don't like that I'm going through life alone. The people around me let me down. They don't show love. And I kind of then pull back. I don't want to give love freely because of my experience or because of me experiencing that other people don't do that. Now, the other people, of course, is mom. And we'll fix this with her. It's an easy thing to fix once you do it right. Anyway, we see also in the dream where she's struggling to keep her eyes open. So this is true in reality. There's a point when you're working on yourself where it's very exciting. You start waking up, you discover things about yourself, you discover about the spirit world, you discover there's more to life, and it's very invigorating. But she's at the stage where it takes her a lot of effort to stay awake. Like she's aware of things, but she hasn't cleared enough of the baggage out from her life that it's just a natural default state. Now that's where she's going to get to. I love the book. I love the name of the book, Frida Vogel, and Vogel meaning bird. So bird is about goals and Frida is peace. So that having peace and a bird together is really, really good. And then wanting to share that book with her friend, it's like the way the guide said it is, it's like sharing with a twin flame, sharing your awareness, because it's going to benefit both of you because you're so connected. The other thing about the book is that part of her already has this knowledge. So this is really good. When you see a book in a dream, that's typically what it's going to mean. It can be the book of your life, or it can be a book that is about knowledge you already have. And then working with us now is going to reconnect her to this aspect of herself, which is really cool. It's all really cool. It's a great dream.
Yeah, what is the 10 p.m.?
Yeah, that's very good. 10 p.m. is about completion. So she's heading into the home stretch of finishing the work that she's doing on herself. 10 is always a good thing to see in a dream.
Mm. And then almost like a blind person. I mean, you mentioned having a hard time keeping her eyes open. Once you wake up, you kind of get that way. And the work that she's doing on herself will fix that. But is there anything more?
Most people go through life blind. We used to call our show So You Think You're Awake, because we wake up from a dream and go, oh, I'm back to reality. But the joke really is we're not back to reality. We're living in another illusion, and we're meant to wake up from this illusion. And a lot of people do, but you have to do it through working on the masculine energy, the feminine energy. And when you get both balanced, and they're two different energies, you don't balance one against the other. You balance your masculine and separately balance your feminine. When you get them balanced, it unlocks new levels within you. It's like you get to the boss level of being human, are connected with the spirit world, are connected with your abilities. You see beyond the veil in a lot of ways. And so the blind is just that. But it's also worth noting, we blind ourselves on purpose. Like we limit our experience so that we have no choice but to deal with the issues we have. Like she's going through life alone. It's forcing her to look at herself. No, not everybody does. So it's great that she's actually doing this, that Kathy is putting the work in, because it's paying dividends for her.
Okay. All righty. Let's move on because we have another dream from Kathy. Let's see what else she's doing. This one's titled, My Sister Doesn't Show Up, and I Wait and Wait. I'm in an old little town sitting on a terrace. I've agreed to meet my younger sister, but she doesn't show up. The female server occasionally walks past, but keeps forgetting to ask me what I'd like. I'm sitting with two strangers at an empty round table, and suddenly I say, oh, I'm at the wrong table. I get up, and the woman makes some kind of complicated joke that I don't understand and don't find funny. At the other table, I see two drinks that might be mine. I try calling my sister to ask where she is, but it doesn't work. I can't find any way to call someone on my phone. I unfold it completely into 4 flaps. That goes upwards and downwards and see rows of game icons. I keep trying to type her name somewhere, hoping her contact will come up, but it just doesn't work. Okay, Michael, I'll break there. This is interesting, being at the wrong table.
This whole piece says that she has difficulty communicating her feelings. Now,
How did you get that?
well, look what she's trying to do. So she's waiting for her sister. It's her feminine side. The feminine is about the ability to nurture, to care, to love, all those things. So it's a feminine aspect, but we know it's about communication. So it has to be communication of feelings. And she can't get her sister's name up on the phone. We also see it a little bit more like she gets embarrassed because the people make the joke and she doesn't really like it. But that's what she's trying to do. Like she's working on cutting the ties with mom in order to reestablish her connection with the feminine.
But she's at the wrong table. And then she sees 2 drinks. So what's going on with that?
So this is a good realization from her that, what's on the table for her is the work that she's actually doing. And then realizing that she has to move. Moving in a dream is always very good. Moving house, driving somewhere else. That's all. Like driving to somewhere else is about achieving your goals. Moving house is saying, I'm no longer the person I was. I've moved on. And so this is her having this awareness in the dream and moving on. We also see, of course, the neglect. The female server walks past and keeps forgetting about her, So it's a horrible life. It paints a picture of like, this is how I feel in life. Because even when I have a dream, I'm ignored in my own dream. Like, how bad is that?
Wow. Yep. Okay, we'll continue on. Eventually, I get so tired of waiting that I decide to go to the station. When I get there, I hear from her that she's on her way, but I've already been waiting for an hour and a half and it's already past 4 p.m. I am really angry. At the station, I run into Bob from work, former security guard, and now I go on a journey with him. We head towards the harbor, and I see white ships or white metal ship structures. I climb from a kind of white pier onto the outside of a ferry. As I do, my legs get wet in the water. People on the boat ask why I took such a difficult route, and now I see that the ferry has turned, so I could have just walked on board dry from the dock. I feel a bit foolish for having gotten my feet wet. Alrighty, Michael, there you go.
Well, that last part is the embarrassment again, feeling foolish in front of others, getting embarrassed easily, which is one of the things, again, connected to mom. So obviously mom made her feel that way, made her feel embarrassed at times. But again, a lot of good things in this dream. She doesn't give up on meeting her sister, so that's good. The station is about like, this is where she's at. This is the place she's at in her life. This is what she's trying to move on from. It's pretty good to see it. It's not about all her life. Sometimes it can be. A train journey is about your whole entire life, but often it's just about a little piece. So that's the piece we're at. She runs into a former security guard from work, so she has her guard up. She protects herself, keeps people at a distance. She's going on a journey with him. So we really don't want that in the dream. We don't want her keeping her guard up. We want her to drop all of that. She heads towards the harbor and sees all these white ships. So this connects it to birth. This is when she started. She put her guard up at a very young age. The white ships with the metal structures, that's about relying on the masculine, the rigidity of the masculine. And we don't really like that in the dream. And it's good, though, that she moves from that. So she's moving away from this solid structure and masculine approach to life to get onto the ferry. And it's actually very good that her feet get wet, even though she felt foolish about it. It's like, despite my best attempts of staying high and dry and clear, I still got my feet into the water. I dipped my toe in the water, or whatever way you want to put it.
Mm. So what's up with 4 p.m.?
Well, what's more important is what she says around it, that she's really angry. So she has anger connected to mom. What the dream is trying to do is bring that up. Like, she's patient and happy with her patience at the start, but then she can't hold it for any longer. And this is done deliberately in the dream so that she gets to express the anger.
Excellent. And then isn't the getting your feet wet in the water, isn't that like diving into life or
Exactly.
something?
And that's why it's
Okay.
positive. And it's good to be able to say to her, hey, look, that's a good thing in the dream, even though you felt that embarrassment. But then because of that embarrassment, we know that this is one of the things that stops her from getting her feet wet, from diving into life.
Oh, excellent. Wow. Wow. Sounds like she's doing some good work there because you can see some progress in her dreams. Are you ready to move on, Michael?
Yes.
All righty. The next one is from Kelsey and is titled Diddy Wants His $100. I dated Diddy, and for a while it was fine, but then something happened. He gave me $500 or bought me something for $500, and for some reason, all but 100 was paid back or returned to him. I kept the 100, but saw videos of him saying he didn't like when people kept what they owed him. I kept that $100 because I thought it was okay, but he thought otherwise and he was being mean. I think he made fun of me. I was thinking of ways to get it back to him in a not so obvious way so he would back off. I thought if it was returned to him and he noticed the money was back, he would back off or drop it. Somehow he was Kanye too at one point. Okay, Michael, Interesting dream. We got two singers,
Yeah,
actors.
and one of them very much high profile at the moment. So her history is that she ends up dating people who don't really stick by her, don't support her, and it's a really bad situation. So really puts her off relationships. She always questions greatly when she gets into a new relationship. What is this person like? Are they going to be like the last person? Because I only attract bad people. So here, anyway, somebody has treated her badly, and she's like, okay, he's given me this, but I'm going to give $400 back because of the bad treatment, and I'm going to keep this 100 because I deserve it. So let's say that's kind of the vibe in the dream. So she wants to stand up for herself, is that piece, which is good, a very good thing for her to do in the dream. But then, because Diddy is going to get mean about things, and she kind of relents and goes, "Oh wow, I should really give this 100 back," and I want to do it in a way that he's just going to back off. So the reality is, she wants to stand up for herself, but she gives in if the other person is going to get mean. So that's an issue. Now she's working on issues around dad, and this is connected to dad. We'll see that later on, but we already know it because of these particular characters. I told her to go back into the dream and tell Diddy to get lost. And I would put it another way, but this goes out on the radio and we have to be nice.
All right, there's more. We're going to continue on. In another dream, he was a ruthless restaurant owner and could make people do what he wanted. He killed someone. I saw a female singer inside of a piano for a crowd. She was performing. From my vantage point behind her, I noticed her spraying a foam cleaner inside the piano. She had seen blood and was disturbed, so was cleaning, spraying it while she sung. It wasn't obvious what she was doing, but I could tell. When it was done, she ran crying to the stands where her dad was. She couldn't say anything. Diddy came near. I saw him confront a man with a gun by his side, double-barreled pistol. The man wanted to beat Diddy up, but the authorities had to deal with this issue, and he had to keep from taking the law in his own hands. All righty, Michael. Ooh.
All right. So the simple part of it is that she's susceptible to people with charm and magnetism. But then she gets mad at herself when she realizes that she has fallen for their bull. She falls for that type of character and it happens over and over again and she hates it. But I know somebody who has this ability a different way. He could convince you black was white, and he used the heck out of this gift, but never in a good way. He had to be close to you though for it to work. And I saw him work at one time, and this insect-like leg came out from his spine and stabbed the person close to him in the head. And from that point, they were like putty in his hand. They just believed everything he would say. But totally disgusting when you can see the real person under the skin. He looked like what Dr. Smith became in the Lost in Space movie. Anyway, I digress. Back to the dream. This is connected to dad, and we see dad showing up. Now, her dad was a right piece of work. He left mom when she got pregnant, now living another life with a family and posting beautiful images on Facebook. And he rejected her attempts to connect with him when she tracked him down as an adult. And it's really interesting. You should really treat life as an audition to get into heaven, but some people don't even try. What dad is meant to do is make the world safe for you. He should beat Diddy up in this dream, like when the singer runs to her dad. He should beat him up, but he doesn't because he wasn't there to make the world safe for her in reality. So that's one of her issues. Dad never being there, the world not being safe. I'm kind of stuck with the people I'm stuck with. I never ask for help. All the typical tropes that you see when somebody has major masculine energy imbalances because of dad not being there to be the rock, to be the person that you can lean on.
Wow. All righty. It's pretty sad. What about the double barrel pistol? So we've got guns in here. Is that anger?
It is, of course, yeah. Her dad was an angry person. When her mom got pregnant, he was angry about the fact that she got pregnant. He wanted her to have an abortion and so on.
Mm. And then she had seen blood and was disturbed. So she was trying to clean it.
Yeah, but look where she is. She's inside this enclosed space with no windows and no doors. That's a typical womb symbol.
Ah,
So she's brought something from a former life. She's brought a channeling ability from a former life. Here she is in this time around trying to cleanse herself, cleanse her soul, let's say, clear the issues connected to anger at men in a former life too. It's crazy how it appears like that, but it fits in with so much she knows about her former lives from other readings.
Very interesting. Okay, we're going to continue on. There's a little bit more. I saw a different chef who had sold his amazing popular pasta recipe to a grocery store chain and couldn't legally serve it in the restaurant anymore, but he would work around it by serving meat and the cheesy pasta a different way. Like he couldn't call it the same recipe since he sold the brand name, but it was nearly exactly the same. All righty, Michael, it's the end of the dream.
Yeah. And this part, uh, we nearly got into an argument about this because the guy, the chef, it represents a healing ability. She has a healing ability, and Diddy is a chef at the start as well. So she's able to help other people heal. But she hates injustice and artificial limitations imposed on people. And I was saying to her, look, he could sell it for whatever amount of money he wanted, and he took the money. So it's all in the agreement that he would not use it himself. But that wasn't what it was about. It's always about the perspective of the dreamer. So she thinks it's not fair. If something is good, it should be good for everybody. She couldn't see past the fact, well, then he didn't have to sell it. And she's like, yeah, but more people will get it if he sells it. So we were going around in this loop. But what it's really about is how she felt at that point in the dream. So if something's good, it should be good for everybody. And she hates injustices and artificial limitations. Like they put this clause in that you can't use your own recipe going forward from this point on. And yet he still would be probably the best person to ever use it. And I said, well, more people are getting it. And she goes, yeah, but it's going to be kind of like a diluted, watered down version of what he produces because they're going to mass produce it. But anyway, that's what it's about. These are the issues she's working on. And the injustice, the whole thing about injustice is part of the blood that she's cleaning from the piano because horrendous things happened to this lady in her last life.
Wow. Wow, that's great that she has this opportunity to get it cleared up, and she's following a process that is going to get her through it, it sounds like. What do you think?
Absolutely. And that's it. We're out of time for this week. So thank you, everybody, for joining in. Thank you for sending your dreams. Please continue to do so. They are the lifeblood of the show. And if you do send a dream in, you will get a response from Nicole.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.